Well, it's a real privilege to talk to you today. There's obviously two things very special going on in London this week, and we've got the launch today of the Nike watch. So tell us what's special about the new watch.
Well, what's great about the new sports watch is that it can work with GPS and with the chip in your shoe, so you can choose which data you use, and it's really, really accurate. So it gives you great feedback while you're running as to the pace you're running at and how far you've covered. And then afterwards, what's really cool is you can just plug it in the USB.
It's got a little
clip
on it, isn't it?
Just right in here.
Makes it so easy,
So you
doesn't
just
it?
plug that into your computer and it just puts the whole thing down onto a GPS map, and you can go back and click at any point on that and it'll tell you the exact height elevation you were running at and the pace that you were running at that point, and then the whole distance and breakdown of the whole run. So it's really interesting just to do, but it's also really useful as a training tool to go back and
So will you take it with you like on every run, or will there be times where you go, you know what, I'm going to leave that at home today?
Yeah, I mix it up. Sometimes you're feeling tired and you maybe don't want to know exactly what pace you're running at, but in other times I've used it to give me exact feedback about the pace that I'm running at the time for tempo runs. And then sometimes it's just interesting, like when I was at altitude, we wanted to see how high certain runs went and how far different trails were. So that was really useful to be able to just map it like that.
And you just put it through its paces, along with about 100 other runners. You came back looking like somewhat like you hadn't done anything, but yeah, there was a lot of red faces. So you didn't go too hard, did you, with those runners?
No, we didn't. We just we had a few fartleks in the park to time it right for photographers and to not knock out pedestrians. But then we had a few stops at red lights as well. So it was just a nice social run. It's great to see that many people out there and kind of meeting here every week and going out on the Nike training runs. And I think that's one of the key things, that it is a very social sport. So it's nice to be able to do it in a big group like that and just to kind of run along through the parks on a nice evening like that and have a chat.
It's obviously a very special weekend in London, for obvious reasons, the London Marathon, but you're not going to be taking part this year. So what's it like to be so close but actually not take part? How does that feel?
It feels weird because it is something that I would love to be taking part in, but it's not really hard like it is in years when I've been preparing and I've had it taken away because I've got injured. This year it was never in the plans because I just felt it was going to be too close to Raphael's birth to be able to do it justice, and rather focus on one in the autumn and stay fully focused on 2012.
And how has your sort of comeback in training been? How different has it been from when you had your daughter to this time round with Raphael?
Well, it hasn't been massively different. I think the thing with Isla was that I came back a little bit too fast and built up too quickly, really. So I ended up with the stress fracture, which then meant it took me a longer time to get back to racing. With Raphael, I deliberately kind of took it slowly, getting back into it. And I've had a much smoother build up through the training. I'd say the biggest thing has probably been just the time management, energy fatigue thing of having two rather than one.
How do you manage two? I mean, it's tough, isn't it? And trying to do the training that you're doing.
It is harder to kind of keep the energy going. I think when I was, especially as I was still feeding Raphael until 5 months. So then I was training full time and I was trying to make sure that Isla got the attention that she needed and deserved. And so it's kind of where your priorities changed, having one person before you, there's now two people before you, and it's just kind of the energy adjustment, but that's all really smoothed out and sorted out now, and I'm looking forward.
You're looking really well, so I don't think
it's
it's not doing you too much harm right now.
No, I've been really lucky with both of my children. They sleep really well, so that's a big help.
And I'm looking at the women's race this weekend. It's a great field. There's a couple of interesting British runners. We're going to see Joe Pavey taking part for the first time. But what are your overall predictions? Do you have any predictions for the race and how it's going to pan out?
Well, I think conditions are going to be really good, and it is a very good field. So I think we could see some good times, some fast times. I think Shobrakova is probably the one to beat on previous form, but Mary Katani coming in definitely has the half marathon credentials to run an amazing marathon. She didn't quite do that in New York, but this time it's going to be interesting to see what she's going to do here.
Obviously no one's going to go anywhere near 2:15:25.
Well, never say never.
Never say never,
there to be shot at, but yeah, I mean, I'm hoping not.
I think your world record's going to stand for a lot longer. It's incredibly impressive, obviously, and I think the girls will be happy for a sub 2:20 come Sunday for a win, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably would take around that to win the race.
Yeah. And looking ahead now, obviously you're not racing a marathon. Your build-up is going to be a few 10Ks, isn't it? You've got Manchester 10K?
Yeah, Manchester 10K in May, 15th of May, and then London 10K on the 28th of May. And then hopefully just maybe squeeze in a track race or two and then get into an autumn marathon.
Any ideas yet which marathon you're going to go for?
I'm looking at an earlier one, so I guess at the moment I'm probably looking Berlin, Chicago, something like that, but I haven't decided fully. I guess it depends how the first step into racing goes, and then I tend to wait and see which one really grabs me the most, because I've got lists of marathons that I want to do and tick off, and so it's nice to do one that I've not done before, but at the same time it's nice to go back to one that I've really enjoyed too.
Yeah, and obviously you'll be going for the Olympic qualification.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the main thing is just to get back to racing and to run well to win the race and to run a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do need a qualifying time as well to sort of tick the boxes going into 2012.
I mean, it's so close, isn't it? You kind of like, it just seems like 3 or 4 years ago, people going, 2012, it's miles away, but all of a sudden it's kind of just on the doorstep, isn't it?
I mean, it doesn't seem like 5 minutes since I can remember where I was in 2005 when we found out that we'd won the bid. And it just seems to have gone so fast. But just a really good feeling going into it, and things feel really positive, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, wish you so much luck. You look so well. You look very fit and very healthy, so we'll definitely be having our fingers crossed come autumn for a great marathon for you, and looking forward to 2012.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.